And I just hate the fact that he got drugs from a black guy. It's like, ugh. And I'm pretty sure Gaijin would want to open marijuana markets in Japan. They'll probably see a spike in foreigners, I'm guessing. Konbanwa minasan, kyo desu. So Neko Kun is a 21-year-old Japanese YouTuber who recently got arrested for possession of marijuana. And this is a statement he made. When I came to Tokyo from my hometown at the age of 19, I wanted to look cool. That is how I started consuming it. I bought it from a black drug dealer in Shinjuku. So I figured, let's talk about this. I'm curious to know the crowd that he hangs around with. If he lives in Tokyo, I'm pretty sure he's been exposed to a lot of foreign culture, probably foreign American culture. And if I was to guess, he maybe is into hip hop, or at least probably heavy metal or rock music or any kind of culture that promotes probably drug use. And what I also hate was that the drug dealer that sold him drugs or marijuana was a black person, and I'm very disappointed in that because that is already a stereotype that most black people or all black people are fighting daily, because drugs, violence, thugs, gangs are associated with black Americans. And to me, it's disappointing that there's a black man in Japan doing illegal drug dealing in a country where, of course, drugs are illegal. And for those of you who've watched my previous videos, that's why I've always said, make sure that wherever you go, you represent the people or the culture or the country you're from, because you only have one chance to make a good first impression to somebody. And I just hate the fact that he got drugs from a black guy. It's like, ugh. And apparently as well, he was also sniffing cocaine. And I believe he's made a statement that oftentimes he wouldn't be high before his live because he doesn't want people to know about his drug use, or it makes him not function well. And to me, seeing as Japan is a country that is predominantly drug-free, to my knowledge, I'm pretty sure the people he's associating with are probably foreigners who import drugs from other countries and probably sell them to the Japanese in Tokyo. And for those of you who don't know my stance on marijuana, I figured this would be a good video to kind of give my thoughts on the drug and should Japan legalize it. I, for one, don't do drugs at all. I don't smoke weed and I barely drink alcohol. Mainly the reason why I don't drink as much and I don't do drugs is because I want to be in control of my own body. When you're under the influence of something, it's exactly what the phrase says. You're under the influence of something. And many people who are drunk or high off drugs tend to do things that they normally wouldn't do when they're sober. And especially in America, drunk driving is especially a huge thing. It kills thousands per year. Drug use has skyrocketed, especially since this pandemic. And I personally think that drugs is destructive when abused. Same with alcohol. And I remember when I was younger, in high school and middle school and elementary school actually, that there were many programs that were telling young kids to stay away from marijuana because marijuana was known as a gateway drug. But nowadays in our culture, it seems like it's okay to be heavily medicated, even to prescription drugs, at least in the West. And I believe, at least in the West, that we are in the age of experimentation, meaning that we're trying all kinds of things without considering the consequences of the actions or the experiments we are trying. For one reason, a lot of people who are anti-marijuana being legalized, at least for smoking pot or just smoking blunts, was the fact that marijuana was a gateway drug. And eventually, if you legalize marijuana, pretty soon other types of drugs are going to be legalized well after. And years ago, people laughed at this and say, oh, that's not going to happen. It's just going to be marijuana that's legal. And the crazy thing nowadays is that even our federal government is actually promoting people to use drugs, as the Biden administration was actually giving out crack pipes for people to smoke. And the reasoning was basically, well, if they're going to do it anyway, might as well help them to do it safely. And in some states, including Oregon, where small doses of heroin are actually legal to consume. And people have been overdosing on opioids. There's also been an opioid crisis in the United States. And to me, it's no shock that this has actually spiraled down from the legalization of marijuana. Because oftentimes when you start to drink or do drugs, the first time you do it, you get intoxicated easily. But the more you do it, the more your body becomes tolerant to it. And then you're looking for a better high. And many people who end up smoking weed end up trying mushrooms. They try Molly or opioids, or they try crack cocaine because they're looking for that high that they couldn't get from the first time they've tried drugs or even alcohol. And seeing as there's a rise in depression and suicide and domestic abuse in the United States, I think it's no shocker pretty much that drug use has also skyrocketed. Because I find many medicated people tend to be people who are depressed, suicidal, or lack motivation in life. If marijuana is used for medical treatments to treat certain bodily disorders or injury or mental conditions, and that's fine. I'm completely fine with that. But I think that we're in a dangerous space in our culture when we just promote just getting medicated. So how does that relate to Japan? Well, seeing as Japan definitely is a country that struggles with many of its people struggling with depression and suicidal thoughts and lack of purpose, I think if marijuana was to be legal, I think you would see a spike in drug use in Japan. Because like I said, many people who are medicated oftentimes deal with those kind of problems. And I believe that most people are looking for escapism from their problems of everyday life. I mean, we do it with TV, with the internet, with pornography, with video games, everything. Most people have below average lives and are trying to find a way to escape the madness of their everyday life. And I believe marijuana would be a tool that many Japanese would try to use to escape their reality. And then I also believe that that would affect the society. Most people, probably more people would be less motivated to get out of bed. More people will become more lazy because marijuana also lacks or hinders their motivation to want to do things. And I'm pretty sure Gaijin would want to open marijuana markets in Japan. There'd probably be businesses that do marijuana in the West would probably try to expand business in the United States. And you'll probably see a spike in foreigners, I'm guessing. And I'm pretty sure what that would cause many other kind of drugs to be imported into Japan as well. And possibly have a huge drug crisis, which I don't think Japan is ready to handle. I think a huge way to get out of a rut is also to take care of your physical health. Working out, eating healthy, and making sure you get out the house every now and then is a proper way or very easy way to kind of improve your life circumstance. Because in a stressed out world, working out definitely keeps me sane. However, with Neko-kun, I hope he gets the help that he needs. I hope that he recovers from his addiction. But I don't think drugs is the answer for people's problems. And let the West be example to you guys in Japan that I don't think drugs is going to solve the problem of lack of purpose, lack of motivation, and suicide and depression. I think it only medicates it and prolongs the problem. It doesn't really solve the problem. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. Also hit that bell as well to get notified whenever we post a video. 本当ありがとうございます。みんな気をつけて。じゃあね。